What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Buck Junkie Podcast. We are back down here at camp, hanging out, ready to talk about our favorite thing. That's doing a little hunting. Guys, what's going on?
Another day. We finally broke the heat, man. Feels pretty good outside. You know, that usual dove season week before cold front?
It's a good thing and a bad thing. I'll say that.
It's a hurricane or a cold front. Week before dove season, a week of dove season every year.
At least the hurricanes, I guess it's not headed towards us this time.
Yes, that's where I'm driving to. I'm going to the hurricane.
You're going into it, huh? I hope it's past by the time you get down there.
Me too.
You should hit it South
Probably,
Georgia
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, about halfway there.
It's cutting up. It looks like it's going to go right through. Like, where is it? Orlando you're going?
Yeah, Orlando.
It's going to blow right up through there and then cut up and go up through Carolina. That's what the last projection I saw.
All that cools off would be great.
Mikey, what about you? You been on the tractor?
Man, getting the bush hog, going around cleaning up our dove field, any of the grass areas around the edges of it.
So we can find some birds if we knock them down?
Knock them down. You got somewhere to.
Oh,
grass
crows!
ain't so high.
Biggest crows are. You can find them pretty easy.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be able to find it. Look. I got down here this morning and I hopped on the side by side and rode out there. And I was like, man, let's go see for some birds. You know, I figured this cooler weather pushed them, but I got out there and I come up over that hill. And I bet you there was 250 crows on that field, just going crazy.
Hey,
We may be a crow shoot.
That'd be dark
we
meat.
we might have us a new recipe.
What
by the end of
is
the
so?
weekend.
What does anybody know the regulations on shooting crows? I know there's got to be one.
I don't know if there is
There's
one.
not.
Really?
I don't think
fixing to
there's a
pull it
limit,
up.
and I don't think there's a season.
I got the app. So let me look season to bag limits and see if we got crows here. It's gonna take just a second. So y'all talk.
I mean, go ahead and shoot a couple of them. Throw some wickers on and some bacon. It's got to be good.
I think it kind of be like him old Robbins used to shoot, James.
Yeah.
Ain't no bag limit on them. No season.
Crow season.
You see it? There it is. Crows.
November 3rd through February 26th.
Yeah, we
It's
can't.
a season on them.
Yeah, we can't shoot crows.
There's no bag limit.
It's November 4th. The MDWFP app says November 4th through February 29th, no limit. So
What does it say about if they're destroying your field?
They are doing that.
Go pull your farmer's permit and shoot them crows.
Well, we can scare them. How about that?
That's right. We just shoot
One
close
run
to
into
them.
pellet. It's on fire.
Well, that does kind of stink, but hey,
Hear no evil, see no evil.
I tell you what, it's gonna be hard to pull them kids off the crows. Them jokers are out there lighting.
I ain't gonna hold them back.
You know, crows are pretty daggum smart. Like you ain't just
They're
gonna
real
go out there
smart.
and shoot some of them. I mean, you might get a shot at, you might get one shoot on them,
Yeah.
and that's it. They ain't coming back. You got to set up to hunt crow. I've heard of guys hunting crows. Lawson they have a big crow hunt over there at Mount Olive every year.
Yeah. They do, what is it? What do they call it? It's like a 20th annual.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while, shooting crows.
What do they do? Do they
I
cook them?
guess they dress them. No
They'll
Arkansas ones, they got to
Stack them up like big garbage sacks full of crow.
I've heard people eating crow, but
Hey, Daddy's buddy, you did. He said it was just like a dark meat, but it seemed
I don't know.
crows
man.
just don't eat.
They eat anything,
Yeah,
right?
They don't eat
Meat
grain. They'll
eaters.
eat dead animals. They'll eat
Yeah.
anything. So I don't.
Oh, crow just eat grain.
no,
they
it
don't.
eats meat.
Let me see.
No, a crow.
They'll eat carrion. They'll eat dead meat.
Yeah, you ain't never seen them on like a
I mean,
armadillo
yeah.
dead on the road.
Buzzard on an armadillo.
I know turkeys and crows are enemies.
Yeah.
Turkeys hate crows.
You never seen them horror movies that pick everybody's eyes out?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Alfred Hitchcock, the birds.
Dr. Hitchcock.
Crows will get you.
They are meat eaters, though. I read that somewhere.
Yeah, they will.
Insects, spiders, snails, earthworms, frogs, small snakes, shellfish, garbage, eggs, other young birds, grains, berries, and fruit.
Shellfish.
They don't eat dead meat.
Shellfish I seen them eat was armadillo.
It don't say dead meat. No,
Yeah. So maybe they don't eat carrion.
Yeah, I've seen them eat
I don't know that. I
roadkill,
mean,
Maybe they're eating stuff out of the guts so
Might
it
be.
wouldn't digest it.
Yeah. corn.
It's even worse. Somebody's corn
I guess
pile.
that falls under the garbage classification, I guess.
what you mean? It says it's eat frogs, so
Yeah, it's a meat eater.
it's a meat eater. It eats insects, so maybe it just tastes like chicken. What a frog tastes like.
I don't know. I'd try it. Would y'all try it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Try it.
Try anything once. I even tried a second time just to.
Make sure it
sure.
wasn't that bad the
Yeah.
first time.
But
I've done the whole try more than once with swordfish. And I
Yeah,
won't try
it was
again.
really,
it was bad both times.
maybe it's better coming right out of the water. I don't know.
We was in the Bahamas. I don't know how much. I mean, that's got to
Oh,
be
yeah.
pretty close to getting out of the water.
Yeah, that's true.
Might as well-
We ate at Oxford, Mississippi the first time.
yeah,
It was
it
not
wasn't
good.
no better in the Bahamas
was
than
not
it was in
good.
Oxford.
Still
It was pretty
off of
bad.
fishy.
Oh,
Man,
Didn't
it was
they, didn't they
horrible.
have one of those when we went to Venice? Wasn't that a swordfish they caught?
Yeah,
Little
yeah.
one?
There was a
Yeah.
boat brought one in.
The
We were
way
down
that
there.
one looks, what I imagine them tasting
It
like.
didn't even
that's
look
about
real.
right.
It looked like it was a plastic fish. You know, it just
Color,
Wrinkled
the
up.
skin,
Yeah,
the
it
skin
didn't look
like it's
good
been
at all.
out of cooler or something.
Pretty much, you told me if I had to eat swordfish or licked that catfish's back, I'm licking that catfish's back.
Oh man,
I'm all over catfish.
It's bad.
we were sitting here thinking about what we're gonna cook this weekend. Man, catfish. That would have been a bad idea.
wouldn't be a bad idea. Might have to change our menu up.
You have to. Might have to fry some fish one day.
Y'all got just as many catfish flying over the field as you do doves.
Yeah.
We saw a few. I've seen. It's not been like last year. I don't know if the birds were here earlier and they're gone, or if they're not.
You know, I hadn't seen just a ton around the
No,
house
but-
like normal.
Yeah, down the road they got a heck of a sunflower field. I mean, it's
Covered up with birds.
not usually this time of year. Even our driveway being gravel driveway, we'll see doves on
Yeah.
it. But I've seen maybe a handful at the house this year. And
I've seen the majority of ours out here in the mornings around the shop in the gravel.
Yeah.
Right out there by where we keep that disc. There's been a dozen or more out there every morning.
We have those long power lines down those cotton fields and stuff that are kind of a center point for, like the sunflower field he's talking about and some, those areas. And usually you see doves sitting on those.
but
And
not
they ain't
this
been
year.
done.
So that means they've either came down early and are already past us, or
They ain't here.
they ain't got down yet because it's been so warm up north.
That
They
could
get
be
pushed
it, 'cause I mean,
down.
you got to think it was 100 degrees in Indiana last week. So
Yeah. I hadn't seen any. Have y'all seen any of the fields and the farmers getting the corn up yet?
I heard one guy said he was going to start cutting corn.
Miles is cutting
Week
today.
before
Yeah,
last.
they are. So that'll probably bring some
It'll pull-
birds.
Yeah, it'll either pull all your birds or it'll bring some,
That's one person we've never checked with. See if they have any dove.
I mean, they got enough.
think
acres
he
of
would
corn,
know,
there'd only
yeah.
be some bird out there.
That's one of the
Yeah,
hardest
lots of
hunts I've ever been on, was a cornfield. It was probably 250, 300 acre cornfield, and it was probably 30 of us hunting. And that was the hardest.
Can't cover it.
No. We literally pretty much had somebody in the side by side or four-wheel have to run, cut across the field, try to run them back our way or
Yeah.
whatever. But that was hard hunting.
That's the way it was when we went over in Arkansas. There were birds there, but they weren't nowhere near us. Remember?
No, they were down there at the deer feeder. That's what
They
they
were at the deer feeder. Yeah, them other fellas that went, they shot a limit because they knew where to go.
We shot one time.
Yeah.
Have
They
y'all
down
never
there-
noticed that when you get invited to dove hunt, most time there's a strategy.
They could put,
The guy that owns the field knows the fly zone of the birds.
yeah.
I
We were just to keep 'em
always
stirred up. All they needed us.
That's
for.
all they needed us.
Don't
to-
let them lighten them
Look,
trees.
y'all sit out there in the open where they can see you. They'll flare off us and go right over to them.
I've never been to a buddy hunt and got prime location. Never.
Oh, if you've been on, we've all been on some of them same hunts, but then going over like Tim's, everybody, when he tells where they're going, there's about 4 or 5 of them that'll peel out of there 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, they already know.
They know where to go.
They know where they know where to go, and then you'll get down there, and they'll be done parked, got out on the tailgate before you ever even get down the hill to park.
Yeah.
Like doggone, ththey knew where they were going, and they're the ones that do all the shooting too.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to do any shooting, but we're going to have a good time.
I mean, I got a automatic skeet throw at the house. Y'all
There
shoot
you go.
them.
I don't know if you can bacon wrap a clay pigeon. It might be a
Yeah.
little tough. But
Imagine it would.
Got to do it in a, what's the thing everybody talking about? You got to do it in a foil boat.
Yeah.
do it in your full boat.
Do it in a foil boat, make it tender.
Oh, we're gonna have a good time regardless.
I hate I'm missing it. It's one of them things. It'd be a good time. We're gonna have a good time. I'm probably gonna shoot some doves because there's probably still
Yeah.
some doves in Indiana.
I imagine they still got plenty up there. That corn's probably, they've probably already cut it.
I don't know if they have or not. The field we'll set up on or beside, they don't technically cut it. His daddy hand picks that field.
Oh, is it like sweet corn or something?
Yeah, it's like sweet corn. It's
That might be
probably-
where the dove are.
Might be. They were last year. No joke. We sat out there and counted hundreds last year when we was up there.
Nobody was even shooting them.
No. I don't know if they even dove hunt up there. I guess they do. I've never heard anybody talk about it up there.
Did you check their season?
Yeah.
You gonna get all the way up there
Season
and
up
be
there.
like, you gonna
I'm
carry,
not shooting doves this weekend.
you gonna carry gold, you gonna carry Goldfinger up there that's not gonna be open.
Goldfinger.
Hey, Goldfinger's ready.
Mikey, you got you a new truck out there, don't you?
Shoot, yeah.
Would you tell everybody
That's
about that?
Second time
That's
having
my
a truck.
second time on it.
Second owner? It's vintage.
No, he's a second. He's the owner of the truck twice.
Is it old enough to get a antique tag yet?
Yeah.
3
Yeah,
more
it is.
years.
What is it?
20 years, I think.
Oh,
now.
yeah, it's there.
What year model is it?
97.
A 97 Silverado?
No,
It's a
GMC.
Oh, okay.
Z71.
Okay.
Yeah, so I bought that truck back from a friend of mine. I'd sold it to him years ago, and they tore the motor up in it. So I had a new motor in it, put in it last week. Been tinkering and fixing little small things that's wrong with it. Me and Mark put a power steering pump on it, and just keep working on it. I'm gonna get it back to as close to original and I don't know, just what it was when it was new as possible.
You ain't scared to take out across the field, innit?
Heck no. I drove that Joker down here this morning running 80 miles an hour with the air conditioner blowing.
Heck yeah.
Rocked on down.
It blow cold air?
Yeah.
Yeah, you let both windows down.
That 4-wheel drive and cold, has it got a gun rack in it?
Yeah, it's got a
It
gun
does,
down.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
It does have.
All you need to CB radio now, man. You have a dog. You got to put your dog box on it.
Need some co-op.
Yeah, put some co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Co-ops on
Get some co-ops put on it.
Oh, if I had me,
You're ready to go.
New tires on right before Dove
yeah, y'all
season?
dove season used to it was like we tried to. Me and my buddy Darren, the hunt club run dogs. We started running dogs when it cooled off. That was time you put your mud grips on your truck. And and then it got to where, man, dove season. It might be muddy dove season. You had to put your mud grips on dove.
So that's
season.
when they went on.
Oh yeah, I had to.
That's when you could afford 2 sets of tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter tire.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
was
You can buy a set of
$400-$500 a piece.
yeah, you
or
can buy a set
set.
of tires for $500-$600. Now they're like $500 a
Peace.
tire.
Yeah, no joke.
That kind of rolls into what we were talking about earlier. Is
Yeah.
working on the old peepaw truck over at Mikey kind of got me fired up.
Oh, I've been looking.
What makes a good hunting truck? Why is it that we feel like we have to have a hunting truck? Like, we've always been that way. Like, I don't have one now, and I guess side by sides kind of filled that market. But man, back when I was a kid, everybody had a hunting truck.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
And then I seen a thing this morning. Matter of fact, I was on TikTok and a regular old TK and Mike video come up, man, and it was when he had the Toyota stuck. Talking about that thing will climb a tree, you know. What makes that's what I think of, you know.
When you brought that up to me, talk about what makes a good hunting truck, I immediately thought of one of them Toyotas.
Yep.
That's the ultimate hunting truck for me. You can go more places than one, just about as many as you can side by side.
Yeah.
Those old Tacomas, man, they're getters.
Oh, that one I had, I sold it to Mark when you went to college, I guess, and I love that truck. That was a dang good truck.
You talk about with the 5-speed,
5-speed,
locking hubs. You got to get out and lock them in.
4-cylinder. It was a truck.
I've parked across many a roads waiting on the dogs in one of those.
Well, I think that was a lot of it too. Is like when Jamie and them was all in them hunting clubs running dogs, you had to have a beater because you didn't put your daily truck out there.
That's what it was.
Down them logging roads
And you have blood all in it. It's going to be muddy inside. You don't want carpet. You want that vinyl floor. Yeah. Something you can wash it. But hunting trucks ain't supposed to be nice. Like, you're not supposed to have GPS on them and cold air and all that.
I'm getting old enough.
They need a heater and they need to roll down windows. That's all I need.
I got old and spoiled.
You get power steering. I like the 5-speed in them.
Yeah.
that's what made it. Like, I don't know if I was I'm in the market now. I'm looking for an old truck, not a hunting truck, but I'm looking for an old truck. But I would have to get me an old Chevrolet, like a old C10, mid 80s, late 70s, something like that. Or you got to get the old faithful Toyota, you know.
I'd have to have about an 88, 89 model Toyota. That'd be ideal. If you can find one in good enough shape. But you could put a motor in one of those for $1,000.
See, I got an 88 at the house. My dad's old truck.
Do you really?
It needs a motor, but heck, it's $3,000 for a motor.
You can't get that $1,000 crate motor no more.
No, them days are gone.
The thing is, you can't even get them old Toyotas for that no more.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, they're like used trucks, especially Toyotas. Like, I get it, they're nice trucks, but dadgum, you got an 88 Toyota beat to hell. It ain't worth $10,000.
Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised at how much they're getting for some of them old vintage, like Chevrolet trucks.
Like Mikey's truck, you get a mid-90s Chevrolet GMC, it don't matter. And I bought a 94 brand new, and it was out the door, everything. Was like, it didn't have leather or nothing like that. It was like $23,000.
Yeah.
Now that exact same truck with 200,000 miles on it's bringing
Still $20,000?
Yeah, bringing $15,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
It's in good shape.
That's crazy.
Yeah, when I bought this truck back, there was those biologists we had down here. They had been looking on the website, and that's what he was telling me. He's like, that truck, if you get it back in somewhat decent condition, is worth $10,000 to $15,000.
Oh, all day long.
Without doing no body work on it, how much you got back in at this time?
Right now?
Yeah. Are you 10 in yet?
No, I ain't close to that.
I ain't seen
So
the
that's-
bill for the power steering pump yet.
I ain't see.
Really, all you mean a motor and power steering pump is all you've done to it now, pretty much, really.
Yeah, motor, power steering pump. I changed the ignition switch in it yesterday. Just some little minor tinkering stuff, $30, $40, $50 parts here and there, just stuff that was broke or, dry rot. I mean, you buy them old trucks. I mean, the one good thing about mine is like the dashboard's in good shape. The interior's in pretty good shape. I got a door panel that's, got, some sun damage on it and they busted the plastic on it. I got to find one of those. But, a lot of those hunting trucks, you find them, like those Toyotas, they were really bad about the dashboard cracking and stuff like that. I mean, that would suck if you had to
Well, the
replace
worst
all
thing
that.
about the truck you got is it's set. And people don't realize, like, you let a truck sit 3 months, it looks like it's 2 years older.
Yeah.
I mean, you let a vehicle sit, it does not take but a couple of months, and it's hurting.
I should have took a picture of it when I pulled it, like when I went over and put the battery in it and left with it, and then what it's going. Well,
Yeah.
it'll be a couple of years, but before I finish everything, I'm not in no hurry because as long as it's running good, I'm fine with it. But
Transmission's good, isn't it?
transmission good. They put a rebuilt transmission in it right before they blow the motor up, so transmission's good. Motor's new.
So
pumps.
So ideally, if you was going today to buy a hunting truck, what would it be?
New or used? It's gonna be used, I guess.
Yeah.
If it's going to be, you got to think, it's going to have to be one that when you get a couple fireballs in, you smoke that sweet gum out there making a turn one night.
Hey, I'm gonna find me a Toyota.
I got 2 options here.
Yeah,
I either want like an old, like I say, 79 Chevrolet, Granny Low 4-speed. I don't care if it's a long bed. I don't care. It can be the most ugliest color. I don't care. Or about a 2000 model Tacoma would be 2000, 2001. That's the one we had was a 2001. And it's nice enough, but then again, it's still a Toyota,
Yeah, I was sold on the Toyota. I mean, I've known people that's had them for years, even going back to high school. Those were some good trucks. But when I went out to Texas last year, instead of using side by sides, all those guys out there had older model Tacomas, and we would run those things all up and down. And to me, they were mountains. To them, they're just hills. But it was climbing rocks. It was going through some creeks. I mean, it was doing all kinds of stuff. And you can go just about anywhere you want in them.
I'm trying to think, what was that little SUV? Didn't Strick have like a little SUV one time? It was like what was it? It was a little weird looking Mitsubishi SUV something. I can't remember what it was.
Like Suzuki, those Samurais? Or?
No, it was bigger than that. It was like.
It ain't Hisun or something. It was something along that line. It was like a Japanese off-name.
I've
heard
of
that.
Like Africa everywhere, and they run them in like Australia. I forgot what it was.
Oh, them little trucks.
No, it's not the truck. It's like
it was like a full size. It kind of looked like a Lexus SUV. It was kind of rounded up front.
Yeah.
But it's all-wheel drive. Had like a 300 horse V6 in it. Like it was pretty peppy.
Well, like a Range Rover or something, or Land Rover or something like that.
They were like a knockoff.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap to buy, or considerably cheap to buy.
I've never seen one except that one he had, and one of Emily's good friends was from Alaska, and that's what she drove down here, and she had one just like it, and it had like 400,000. Like you couldn't kill it,
Yeah.
No, I'd probably have to. If I was going old school, it'd probably have to be 78, 79 Ford or Chevrolet. The one I like both them body styles. Newer model, late 90s, D71.
Really, we need a Suburban down here.
That'd be a good one.
Old 80s model Suburban.
Well, what's sad though is we all got
what we need.
side by side. Everybody got a side by side. All
Power
these new
wagons,
side by
that's probably-
sides. You can go buy a brand new
Oh,
four-door Tacoma,
You buy
cheaper.
4 or 5 of them.
The one now, I didn't buy a souped up. What is it? What's that? The 6-seater
gut
Can-Am. It's a 21, right? I think I had it 2 years.
Yeah, the crew cab.
And it was out the door $30,000. You think of what you could have bought for a side by side. I mean, truck wise.
I mean, money wasn't an object. New Place Ranger, hands down. I'd go buy one today.
That one I've been looking at 60,000.
Yeah, by the time you do what I would do to one, I'm $55,000 in all day long. My dad,
You already built it and priced it.
yeah, my dad's Tacoma, brand new, off the lot, 23 model, was $43,000.
$7,000 cheaper than the side by side.
It's
Can you go? That's tough though, man.
it's like over that Hardin Point. I mean, Darren he's got a side by side, got 13,000, 14,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
But some of the roads and trails, you can't carry nothing but a side by side. They're not I guess because it don't tear the roads up as bad as what it was the truck, but you can't drive a truck down.
No, I would not have one. I mean, I take that back. I would have one, but after riding one, my thoughts on it completely changed. One of them Isuzus. The little bitty things, the little Japanese mini trucks.
No, they have no suspension.
Yeah, they ride. Yeah,
I think those things are made more for riding on plant floors. Like,
I don't know.
yeah, they ride those all get
We
out.
rode one
concrete
down
riding.
there at Philadelphia when we went down
Yeah,
there.
I didn't
and they
ride
had
in it.
one. I rode in that freaking thing, and
Beat you.
I'd rather walk.
Really?
Oh yeah, it'll jar your teeth. You just steadily. I mean, your head will hit the cab. You're just bouncing in that thing. It's terrible.
Buddy of ours used to have one. I got in. I've never drove one. But I said, let me drive it. Of course, it's
'Cause
right-hand drive.
Stick shift, left
Stick
hand.
shifts, you got shift with your left hand. That was weird to me. So me and Emily got in. We got to bebopping down the road, and boy, I was grabbing gears. And I looked down. It said I was running like 80. I was like, holy, and it did. I mean, I felt like we were running 100 miles an hour. I looked at this in kilometers. Man, we barely broke like 40. Like, we wasn't even moving hardly.
He was rolling up.
But it felt like it. Golly, it was rough.
Dang.
What's the craziest like hunting vehicle you seen somebody rolling in? Y'all think of something? I'm proud to go El Camino. I saw this dude used to hunt. That's what he used.
Oh,
man. He had
as
no
far
El
as see
Camino.
somebody hunt out of
That was his
something?
hunting truck. Yeah.
My dad's probably got that one top. When I was a kid, my dad and my Uncle Jimmy, he was kind of like my second dad. Both of them had Ford Fairmonts. Jimmy had a baby blue, and my dad had maroon. And they don't tell how many deer they hauled out in the trunk of a Ford Fairmont. There's no telling.
Just put it in the trunk.
Put it in the trunk. Yep.
You say, Randy had a Toyota Corolla that
That was his hunting vehicle.
It was his everyday and his hunting truck.
Yeah.
Deer, rabbits, everything would be in that thing.
Fish.
It was so nasty.
I couldn't do that.
I think about like Dad and them. Like I rode a deer camp a couple of times with our Uncle Jimmy, like Jamie was talking about, and he was a pretty heavy smoker.
No, he was like
I would say,
nonstop
like,
smoker.
He was a chain smoker 24/7. I got in that truck. He picked it up from school one day, and I got to looking. I couldn't see out the front windshield.
He had yellow tint.
Like I mean, it was like you could take a scraper and scrape tar off the windshield from him smoking with the window
God,
rolled up.
rolled up.
Just hotboxing the whole way down there. I guarantee you, I caught secondhand smoke at about age 8 riding with him, no doubt.
I rode a deer camp with him a couple of times, and he was in that little blue Toyota, and it would be, he'd have that big old Dover jacket on,
Yep.
and he'd have that window cracked about that.
Oh, it
far,
ain't enough
like
to
not
flick
even
an
an
ash
inch.
out.
And he'd have that whole cab full of smoke. Man, it was
You know what
thick,
it was?
son.
About a 90 model, 2-wheel drive, Toyota 5-speed with a camper top.
Was it really?
The ugliest Toyota ever made, but he run the wheels off of it. Had mud and snow tires on the
Yeah,
back. I don't know. It's a lot of nostalgia, in my opinion, to old
Yeah.
Hunter truck. Like that's what I grew up riding in, and everybody always had them. And
I mean, we was at Water Valley running dogs. It was a slop fest most time. We'd always see who had like the baddest truck, who would go down the road, who could go down that road and cut the dogs off and not get stuck. And it was, I don't know, man. Kids now don't get to experience none of that kind of stuff like we did.
I don't know anybody that still dog hunting. I mean, I know there's some guys
They do
that
still
do
down
it,
at Water
but
Valley, but every time, I mean, you can't ride pretty much all 4 of the side-by-side roads and no trucks down the roads no more like it was.
which again, that all goes back to technology and stuff like that's changed so much, and laws, and now you got the quiet cat bikes. You got it's so many other ways, like methods of transportation for hunting now.
Yeah, but what sounds cooler? Man, I went down that road in my truck and it was like doors are dragging, or man, I got my quiet cat bike stuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Snuck up on it.
yeah.
we need to get one of those. Bring here, let y'all test it out. I ain't gonna try it.
My buddy Brad, I think his
He
is not
swear
a quiet
by-
cat's an off-brand one that's pretty much tit for, same thing, just off-brand. He said it's pretty daggum impressive. And they're just like a side-by-side. You can deck them out with racks, trailer hitches, trailers. I mean,
5,000, 6,000,
Yeah,
7,000.
yeah,
Bike
13,
does?
yes.
that was in Indiana when me and Mark went to that trade show. It was a booth, probably several booths, really.
I had several hundred of them.
Yeah, hundreds of them. And anywhere from, this frill had like mud grip tires. It was a 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive bike. And they, like I say, you pull a trailer behind it. You can spend as much money on it as you want to.
I just don't see it. I mean, if you're on a flat surface, maybe a decent field road, something like that, you can ride them. But I can't imagine just taking it out through the woods like where we go in one.
No,
Y'all
crossing
all be
ditches.
piled up over here at the mud hole hill
Yeah,
in the ditch.
that's right.
Laid down. Everybody.
That'd be the test. Will it climb that hill right there?
I don't
It's a gravel road.
But I'm going to hit Brad up to him, come down here and do a demo day on it.
Yeah.
Oh, we just Quiet cat, y'all send us one. Let some rednecks test them. We'll be.
I could see if it was like a trike. Had two wheels in the back or something.
Those bikes like Walmart you sell that had the 2 bikes on the back, 2 tires on the back, and basket on the front. That's something.
That's what I could imagine. I want my deer basket on the front. And I want the 2 big wheels on the back
with the daisy basket on the handlebars.
That's right. You can put a passenger seat on that one.
So
right side by side on the trike bike.
That Quiet Cat's $5,000.
The HD version.
Yeah,
that's what this.
We want all-wheel drive. We don't want no getting stuck stuff.
And I wonder what the range of one of those is. Like I know they're electric, so you got to charge them. I mean,
I'm trying to think. Brad's was like 30 miles or something like that, 20 something. That's
pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good right
yeah.
down here.
That's what Michael's little electric scooter is.
Yeah.
Those things will run 20 miles an hour.
Trying to pull it all up now.
Mark's on the one that if he crashed it, he's on the one that could get back up. And
if I did, it'd be over. I'd break a hip or something. I'd be down. I'm down. Yeah.
I'll call the ambulance.
The risk, that's like hunting out of one of them tree saddles. I ain't climbing up in there.
I do want to try
hunting in one of them nut hammocks.
The dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The tree saddle?
No.
Yes.
Why?
It can't be any better than a stand. I don't care if you can shimmy around the tree, and I just don't see it. It can't be comfortable sitting there all day like that.
Your legs be asleep. That is.
I just don't.
All them guys in the suburban hunting, that's what all I'm using. I guess because it's so easy to pack in and pack out and quiet and so maneuverability.
That's all they're toting is just
climbing sticks and that.
That's got to be the main advantage of it. Is that it's lightweight and you ain't packing much. You can make it, but you still got to put your sticks up the tree to get up it and attach everything.
I don't know. It just don't make no sense. And Summit makes a real comfortable climbing stand.
That you can sit in, right?
Well, over Hardin Point, the way the trees grow over there, you can't. It's very, very, very few trees you put a climbing stand on. You're gonna have to do lock on. You're gonna have to do ladder stand. You're gonna do like a box blind. There's no. I've tried it. There's not very, very few trees that you can find over there to climb.
Too big or too little?
There's too many limbs on them, and they are too big. Yeah. Most of them got a bunch of limbs on it, and you can't. Pretty much all Darren.
I'll test out the Quiet Cat, and then y'all can have.
Jamie can do the saddle.
Yeah.
Now, I guess if you're a lineman and you climb phone poles, you probably like one. But
I'm sure it's a neater experience, but it ain't for me. My buddy heater won't stay up there on those saddles.
That's what I was saying. They don't make a buddy heater harness, do they?
Warm my veinies up. I can't.
Most of them that are using them though, they're bow hunting though.
Yeah. Extreme hunting too.
I shoot that 28 nozzler with the saddle. I'm gonna spin around the tree when it goes off. I got something to hold on.
You'll be like a tetherball.
Yeah.
Marshall had a game you had at Boy Scouts or deer or church camp where you hit the ball on a pole and swing
around
when that thing goes off.
Tied up in his saddle.
I had to put me a counterweight ratchet strap to it or something.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. Speaking of Brad, though, didn't you say he went down there alligator hunting last week?
Mississippi to this alligator hunting's a big deal now. So it's last weekend and it's coming up weekends, only 2 weekends. I guess you can draw, I guess.
I think.
How do you go to the state draw if there's put your name in or something?
And I think you get maybe 3 tags, maybe.
3 tags per draw, I think.
So one over 8 feet, one under 8 feet, or
alligators yet, but we gonna get involved.
But technically, you could draw a tag. You could get drawed, but all of us could go in a boat with you.
We can have 4 guys in the boat or something like that.
You can have multiple boats.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, you can have multiple boats.
Be in the boat. It just has to be
in the vicinity.
Within X amount of feet of it once the alligator is harvested and brought out of the water.
So it's not like you see on TV. You don't blast a rifle out across the water. You got to actually hook the gator, get up to the boat. Then I guess when you get it in your control somewhat, you can shoot.
Dispatch it.
And then, Brad and them up. He said it was probably around 550 pounds.
So what do? They go out and spotlight?
Yeah.
You take a light with you, find them, locate them, pitch at them with a fishing pole and treble hook.
Yep. I still don't understand how you see bubbles or see the eyes and it go down and you throw a treble hook in that and it's still there to catch.
Yeah.
But evidently that's how you do it.
I wonder what they do. Like you got 1 over and 2 under, right?
Yeah, if I remember right, it can be 2 under 7 foot and only 1 over.
So I wonder what do they just cut? I wonder if they cut the line. Like if you hook, just say you already got your over 8 and you hook another one.
So you should be able
to cut it loose.
You're supposed to be able to judge.
You're not going to reach down there and pull that hook out of it.
No, you're supposed to be able to judge, or you're expected to be able to judge. Just like shooting a deer. you're supposed to be able to judge the alligator, because you'll see the eyes on top of the water, and you can usually see how long it is or how far apart the eyes are. I guess what you do to kind of gauge
But if you was to hook one and it is, you get up there like, oh crap, we misjudged this. I'm sure, like they used to unhook them sharks deep sea fishing, you can use something
little
similar,
ring
on a
pole,
pole,
yeah.
and just get it off of him.
So no, it's gator hunting pretty big. Then supposedly the new state record caught
Last week.
Yeah, or this past weekend.
How big was it?
What I tell you, it was
I thought you said 14 something.
It's what they posted was 14.
That's a big
14 foot 3 inches,
Dang, that's big as a John boat.
802 pounds. That is
Holy
crazy.
smokes.
I mean, they got it lifted up on a Kubota tractor with the forks, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys holding this thing up, and it's a monster. I mean, it's crazy.
How big was the one Brad and his boat?
Brad didn't get a chance to weigh it, but he said guessing between 5 and 550, and it was, I think he said around 12 foot.
Yeah. Is that the biggest one they ever caught?
Yeah, I think so.
That's still a dinosaur though.
Heck yeah. Anything over 10, I'd say is probably a trophy, wouldn't it
Yeah,
be? I mean, that's
I
a
mean,
big alligator.
Brad's son actually kind of like accidentally hooked it. I guess you cast out like a rod and reel, and he kind of missed where he was throwing, and he thought he was hung up the whole time until he was like reaching over trying to get unhung and everything else. And he said, man, it never fought, never pulled, never tugged and nothing until they broke the surface, and that's when it got crazy.
Wow, I've heard some of the guys say they fought him for hours.
Yeah,
Like it might take them half the night to
Yeah.
get one up to the boat.
I
to be able
guess
to shoot
once
it.
if you hook it, I don't know if I might be wrong. I think one of us can actually throw out and you can get two
You can
hooks
get
in
two
it.
hooks.
Two hook.
They try to put multiple
Yeah,
lines
that way,
in it.
That way it's not. They don't get off and it's injured or hurt or whatever. That way you
do everything you
get
can
it in
to
the boat.
make sure you get
it in the
there.
boat.
Yeah. Then they shoot it with a 22, I guess.
Yeah. Dang, could you imagine 12 foot? It's not like rigid, solid you can hold, trying to roll that over the side of the boat at
No.
500 pounds.
Man, they make it on Swamp People. They make it look easy.
And dude,
I could do that. I could do that part where you just sit there and holler, shoot them, shoot them,
Yeah.
shoot them.
them boys on swamp
got-
people, they got to be stout.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they got a system of rolling them alligators,
Getting them up and then rolling it over. Yeah.
Still, I mean, you're rolling a 500.
Well, they're
pound
probably
animal
not.
in there.
Most of the ones they get probably aren't that big. They're probably 7 foot or under. Probably. I would
Yeah.
think.
I have seen them
I mean,
get
you're
some big
still
ones
200,
on it
300
now.
pounds.
I seen
probably trying to
Willie
get
roll
in
a
the boat.
12-footer in the
Yeah,
boat.
yeah.
He's the littlest
Hey, that's
one
one of the
there.
toughest ones on the show that's ever been on there. Is that
Yeah,
Willie?
he's the only one I seen kill one with a pocket knife.
Yeah. He didn't care.
I mean, it's pretty much an all night ordeal. You go out and locate, you harvest, get it in the boat. Well, if you're down there by yourself with your boat, what do you do with 800 pounds?
You ain't doing it
pounds?
by yourself. Is there people?
Well, how do you got to process it there? So you're at the
Yeah.
boat ramp or wherever you're staying at your lodge or cabin. So you're breaking all this alligator down by yourself on a table or bed of a truck.
Yeah.
Or, man, it ain't like going out there hanging a deer up and dressing out in 15 minutes.
No, you're gonna commit to it.
I bet those fish.
There ain't no
markets
quarter
make
in
a lot of money
alligator.
that time of year.
Probably do.
That's what I would do with mine. I take it to the local fish market
Yeah.
they got those markets down there where they clean them and process them.
I wonder how that works. Do they?
Most
does
people
Brad and them keep all that meat and eat it and cook it, or they
Yeah.
give it away, or what? Do they? What
I
I
think
mean,
you could pretty much, which I mean, there really ain't that much on alligators other than tail meat, I guess, really.
Yeah.
I mean, some people go for the leg. I guess you could, but
I cooked one, but it wasn't. But when we did it, it was only like a 4-footer. It wasn't a big alligator, and there wasn't much to it at all.
it's on the
It
tail.
was not worth the trouble of cooking.
No, so the
I mean, you
tail
can
on
eat it,
one
but it
is
ain't-
like 2 back straps on top of each other on a deer, is it not?
Yeah, it's kind of like 4
like
the
a
way it
loin on top.
runs. There's 2 on top, and 2 on
Yeah.
bottom, but it's got fat all in between that. And if you don't get all that out, it's the fishiest tasting.
Oh, Brad said this is the fat. He said this thing had layers of fat.
You've got to get
said that.
every bit. That fat is it's nasty. I'm talking about fishy. You can imagine that thing's been eating everything in the swamp.
Yeah.
So it's going to taste like it. And those big ones, I can't imagine the big ones being very good to eat.
See, I cooked some that Jody's wife Rachel caught down there in Florida, and it was 12 or 13 foot. I mean, it was a big freaking gator. But they processed it there at the resort, and then like they run it through the meat tenderizer just like we do deer meat. So it was like minute steaks, and we fried it, and dude, it was some of the best dark meat chicken you've ever ate. Like,
So it was good, really.
Say that's the only way I've eaten it fried several times, and
But I've
it's
never
really
seen
good
it like
fried like chicken.
tenderized.
The best way I've ever had gator, and it was like hot wing style, and it was the legs.
Yeah,
And they were like, they took the small gator legs and deep fried them and tossed them in buffalo sauce. And it was dang good. You could tell it wasn't chicken.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, it was.
Well,
it
now
was
that you
good.
say that restaurant Cobb's down there, they had alligator
Yeah.
legs before. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
One
They
used to be
got
down
big
in-
alligator
in Oxford.
roasted like
Yeah.
that or grilled or something.
Yeah.
It was just the legs like that.
And I've had some sausage made out of it that was pretty good, but you can put just about anything in sausage and make it good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I beat the alligator sausage, but I couldn't really tell it was alligator.
Smoked, I ain't a fan. It's okay, but
So what do you think started all the rage of gator hunting? Of course, the show had a lot to do with these
Yeah.
guys, but has like where they're going to Mississippi, has it always been gators there like that, or is
So
it?
you're right
something-
I
on.
think they boomed.
been
Well, they
there.
probably were, and then I imagine they killed them out, and then they reintroduced them, and they let them go a long time before regulations came back to hunt them, and they don't give out a ton of those.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if all four of us put tags in, we're lucky if one of us.
because
will
I
get
ain't
dog.
heard, but in the last 3 to 5 years, actually, people up here
Yeah.
where we're at,
Yeah,
actually
going and
talking
doing
about
it.
going
Yeah,
to do it,
yeah.
You know?
So you're pretty much Vicksburg, right on the line of Louisiana, I guess, where you're at on the river.
There's a bunch of them in the Pearl River, and that's kind of, I guess that's the Ross Bornate Reservoir over there in those backwaters of it. That's where a bunch of them were. But then I guess they go through the Big Black down through Yazoo City and all that way, and then go back towards the Delta. We don't. Like we've seen a few up here. You don't see gators very often. I mean, I know there used to be one hung out at Enid. Didn't y'all say y'all saw some in Arca Butler before? And there was a time where I don't know if the state was giving them to people, but if like you had a beaver problem, you could get. They wouldn't give you like a male and a female, or you had to get a sterile one or something like this. I just remember hearing this. And they would give you one to put in your pond, and that, you know, I guess that's how people got them, and they started finding a way to reproduce.
They're brim fishing.
The gator pulls up.
Go nose to nose with the gator.
Yeah, I think the state used them for beaver management back
Yeah.
in the day.
But that was probably in the 70s, 80s, wasn't it?
probably.
Yeah,
So-
they let some go up here in DeSoto County years. They said they did anyway. So what it was rumor or just a old wise. I don't know. I mean, but I heard that they let them go up here to kind of manage out the beavers.
So that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
And
I
they
just
say
heard
they
that.
caught all of them. They say they did.
Caught all the alligators?
Fishermen caught a lot of them. Caught them
Oh.
in nets and they drown and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Different things like that. But
Well, I always heard our winters, it's cold enough to where they just won't make it through the winter up this far. But as you go down the central part of the state, they survive because it's not as cold on them.
well, our climate's changed now, though.
Yeah, you look at it, it has. And
We don't have a fall anymore, or really a winter. You know, it's
Yeah.
not till like February.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time in our fall, it's still like summer in a lot of places. You know, we're probably right there with what they are down south of here
Yeah.
now, from
Well,
what
is-
we were 20 years ago.
I've seen
As
the
much when y'all used to run commercial fishing lines and all that stuff, did y'all ever hang an alligator or anything?
Never did.
What about turtles?
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Ain't
Turtles all
nothing
the
worse than a soft-shell turtle in a
Oh,
fishing
yeah.
net. That's
Swole
horrible.
up
That's
and drown.
That's the stinkingest smell ever.
So they're in the state of Mississippi. 900 tags is
what
they
they-
issued this year, or 900 permits. Excuse
Yeah.
me. It's a whole list of like different. And your permit, if I'm understanding this right, and I could be wrong, I apologize, but like each reservoir or like zone, I guess you say, they issue X amount of tags per zone.
Yeah, I think that is right.
Well, they probably have an idea of the population, how
Yeah.
many they
They
need, to take.
out.
Yeah, and that's why they issue them like that.
I mean,
But there are some private land. You can get a private land tags too, though, because that's what Craig and them do down there.
I mean, everybody I've talked to said if you go one time, you'll keep going, but it ain't easy. You're up. You might be a time. You think about it, you get out there at dark
At dusk, yeah.
and you're trying to find alligator. Then you do find a gator, and if you get it in a boat, you're two or three. You know, if you got just say you did get 2 of them, 3 of them, man, you're multiple hours just processing it and putting it in the cooler. Unless you are staying somewhere that's got something open at night or open first thing in the morning that can process it for you. If you're doing it all yourself, you got a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah, you got to get that meat cold. Think how hot it is in August still. I mean, they were hunting last weekend. It was 100 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So how long you think that meat's going to make it once they got it back? I mean,
Man, can you imagine that many people down there? Just say half of them process it themselves. So they got pretty much the midsection guts and all that they're doing disposing of. Man, that's where you need to go try to catch a gator wherever they're doing all that.
yeah. Where do they throw that stuff?
Yeah, that's where you need to go. That's
With-
alligator train station.
I can't believe that there's not like because they buy those things, to make boots and belts and clothes. Like, there's not like somebody that would buy
You would
them
think.
right there.
sitting
Yeah.
And like they would process your alligator. Just if you gave it to them, they'd process the meat
To get the
meat back
byproducts?
just to have
I
the
forgot.
byproducts.
Like, does Brad and them get? I know they probably keep the head for a trophy, but
Yeah.
they keep the hide and everything.
He said to get the hide. I want to say he said to get the hide tanned was, man, like so many $100 a foot or so many dollars an inch. It was like ridiculously expensive to get alligator, like just a midsection tanned and dried. It would be several.
Jody-
Like, what if you want to
their
get some
full
boots?
hide on their big one?
What do they do with it? It's hanging on the wall or
So
something?
they got it all. They sent it. If I understood this right, they sent them the tan hide, and then they have different people that can do whatever with it. So like, I think she's making their boys like some like alligator belts
Yeah.
and like stuff like that. And I think she's getting a purse done or something. Like, you send it to different people and they process it. It's tanned and ready, and they send the whole cake to you, and then you just send them what they need to do it. If I understood it right, but she got the head done on that one they have, and it's pretty freaking.
We need to see if he can come in here and talk to us about gator hunting.
Hit him up. Get him in here
Is he
next
going this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he do a like skin on head or like a skull mount
week.
head?
No, it's skin on. It's
I
sharp
think we.
looking. It looks real. Like, it looks like it's wet, just come out of the water. Like, it looks real.
No, I'd like.
I mean, I guess
I
it
like
is
to.
real, but it looks real.
I like to throw one in Rob's Beetles and do a skull mount. I bet that would look cool.
It would be. Yeah, I've seen those for sale in like souvenir shops down there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
All right, next year when August at 100
We'll go.
degrees outside, we're going gator hunting.
What if we just first year go show up at the ramp so you see what they're bringing in?
Boat ride.
Jody and them are taking a guy's, which we could put this together and make this happen, but they're taking a guy's like bow fishing boat, generator and all that on board.
Yeah.
So then they can hit the lights. They got a platform to, fish from, and they're all pretty excited. Last I heard, I think they were still trying to get the boat running good, but other than that.
I wonder if it's legal to shoot one with one of the bow fishing rigs.
So I was looking
I
at
think
this.
it's got to be hooked.
It's got, no, it says something about bows. Like, it's got, if it is shot with a bow or harpoon, that it can't be, like, you can't release it. Like, you must harvest that gator.
Yeah,
That
you
counts your-
committed to
Yeah,
that one.
counts.
That's your
Yeah,
tag.
yeah.
Ooh, if you shot
that's
that
gonna
joker
kill
with
it.
one of those, and then you had to hold that rope, man,
You better hold it
you
right.
better be ready for that.
Just don't shoot him in the tail, because then he's got all the ump going.
Yeah.
It'd
Yeah,
be
'cause you ain't
interesting.
hooked
I'd
no
love to go
reel.
see it. Like, when we
I
went
don't
down
say you hook one with a. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking, Zipco. You got a big treble hook,
there, Jody
Oh.
got 2 reels, 2 rods set up, and I want to say one of them's got 400-pound test, and the other one got 700-pound. Some kind
Yeah,
of.
but still, I don't care. I mean, you think just deep sea fishing, you're holding that rod, and how much that fish is pulling. Can you imagine 800 pounds?
I mean, both of y'all caught big catfish on the river, and they didn't fight like you thought they would.
yeah,
I mean,
but
considering what we're used to fishing with, you
Yeah.
got the equipment to do it. It
I'm
makes
thinking
a
a
big
whole lot
difference.
different on alligator versus a
But I
catfish.
mean, that big of an alligator, it's probably pulling the boat too.
oh,
though.
yeah,
Like,
it will.
you-
Yeah, Brad said it will. It's going to
You
pull your
pretty
boat.
much put your feet on the bottom of the boat.
You go on
flat
where
and
they
just
want to
hold
go.
on
Depending on
to
where
the
it's
ride.
hung, you
Yeah.
go on where they want to get till they get tired.
Yeah, so he's pulling all that weight of the boat, and all that stuff too. You're fighting him, but you're not really. He's pulling all that too. It'd be like big old cork.
You pretty much letting him wear himself out till you can do something
Yeah.
with him, because I don't know
That's
putting
what I
out.
would do. I just hold him, just
Yeah.
as long as he wasn't, getting away or whatever. Just
I
hold
probably
on
wouldn't
to
want
him, plant my feet, and
Try to get another
let
hook
him
or
drag
something.
a
in.
boat.
I wouldn't want to get out there in my kayak or nothing to do it.
You'd be skiing behind it then.
Yeah. That would be something. Pull hook into one, see how far it pull you around and out. You couldn't get no leverage to pull back on him.
I never thought I'd be interested in it, really. And then we went to Venice and got to see all those when we were going in and out. I mean, it's a pretty neat creature. That's not your average reptilian, I guess.
No.
We got up here.
Them things don't play. I don't know if anybody gets hurt doing that or not, but I know when we went to that alligator farm, there was you got up pretty close to them, and there was some down there, 14.
Yep.
Their heads as big as that box in the middle of the floor right there. If that thing even remotely grabbed you, you're done.
All you need is roll electrical
If it
tape.
grabbed you for 2 seconds, you're
that's
done.
Yeah,
Tape
their
her mouth
shut.
up.
right,
Yeah,
tape
that's
their
what they
mouth
do.
shut. So we're going alligator hunting.
I bet people get knocked out of the boat and they flop them up in the boat. Still flopping.
So next
That
year
tail
we got
hits you,
a
man.
Tuna fishing trip we're going to book. We're going to book an alligator trip.
I'm not doing the extreme stuff. Y'all can send me the videos of all that.
Malcolm's going after the stuff he can eat, not eat him.
Yeah,
Michael's gonna be at the ramp with the biscuits the next morning. Here you go.
I will do that. I'll cook the gator for y'all. I might not eat it, but I'll cook it.
Well, what else else we got? What else we been doing on the farm? We hadn't really had a weekly update on the farm. It's been pretty busy.
It's really pretty much, yeah. Y'all did some engineering. We rode down. Mikey took me across the bridges y'all did. Yeah, that's. So, I mean, I guess anybody's got property probably got creeks that they got to cross. So we had some that was kind of, we could get around them, but we wanted to be able to ride the fence and kind of, ride the property line and keep the fence cleared and make sure we try to keep the cows out and stuff. And so we needed some bridges done. Y'all came up with I don't know. That's probably the best way I've seen done. I mean, luckily, Michael give us those phone poles.
Yeah, we got some old poles that they pulled up.
That's all it was old light poles.
Old light poles. They're probably a couple years old. I mean, they're not brand new or nothing, but we just took those, and like one of the bridges that I did was
we learned some techniques on this.
Yeah,
yeah. Trial and error.
You learn as you go. You know, we did them two different ways. Kind of had to do them two different ways because the first one I did, I cut the pole in about 10-foot length and dug a hole, filled it with concrete, and then put the pole in it and leveled it up on both sides of the ditch. Got
one
my
on
span,
each side,
one on each side, crossways, and then got them. Got them what I thought was square. And then you take a chainsaw. Well, you take two poles, lay them across, lay them on top of there, and then you notch them like you do a log cabin.
We also think y'all was making Lincoln logs.
Talk about tongue and groove logs.
Yeah, Lincoln log, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
So once you do that, we skinned that bridge with 2x8s.
You poured some Quickcrete on it too, though, didn't you?
Well, that's what I set set the poles in.
Yeah.
And then we did that one like that, but this other one, the bank was it was really bad off. It's kind of downhill and stuff. So we did that one a little different. We didn't put the cross pieces on that. We dug a hole. We just laid the poles across and then try to pick them up, put sackcrete under them like piers, and then set the poles back down on them, and we just set them just like that, like we were setting them on piers. And that way worked. It worked pretty good. Keep you doing a lot of chains.
Didn't tear the chainsaws up.
Because by the time we got through, I don't know. It was a lot. It was more simple. Me and Will did that frame down there in about 2 hours. And then doing them that way that we did over there, I mean, if I could go back and do it, I'd probably do the cross one, honestly. But anyways, we skinned them out and we got reflectors on them, put gravel at where you come up on the edges, because a lot of people were cutting the poles, like trying to shave them down and build like a little ramp up on them. Man, running that chainsaw cutting light poles sucks.
Oh, it'll eat a chain up quick.
It'll wear you out. It'll eat the chain up. It'll wear you out because they're still got, even though they look dry, they still got all that moisture on the inside and stuff. So when you're cutting them, it'll eat them blades.
You cut across the grain pretty easy.
Yeah,
cutting with the grain, you hang it up.
So did y'all get that? Did it burn your skin, the Chris Oak and stuff on it?
Not bad.
Man, I did it one time.
I tried to watch to make sure that crap didn't get all over me, but it did get on me.
It blistered me up.
Is that chemical?
Yeah, something chemical in it. I mean, I don't know if I guess now probably ain't the same as what it was back then, but it will blister your skin.
But we got some fine bridges now.
They don't have a speed limit. They got a 5
we probably need, you probably don't want to have more than 2 or 3 in you going across them.
You can run off that one, it'd shake you up. You run off that second one.
Pretty good
drop. You got pretty good
probably
drop.
Make an insurance claim.
Yeah.
I'm giving the reflectors to December.
Think somebody's going to knock them off or just, oh, really?
You notice the color difference in the reflectors? We got a blue, you're going to be okay on this side. Red, don't run off
red,
this side.
That's the side you better not cheat to.
If you hit the red reflector, you're in trouble.
So will the bridge tow the tractor?
I wanted to go across the other day just to see.
I think it will. I know that one toward the front with 3 poles on it. I know it will.
I know it would my tractor. My tractor don't weigh 4,500.
It probably towed our smaller one. I wouldn't run that big one across it. I'd run my truck across it.
You drive your truck over it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be scared to put a truck over it, but I don't know.
Tractor just got so much weight and a smaller footprint. The weight ain't spread out. But I mean, they're solid.
Man, I should have kept count how many loads of gravel I toted from the shop to there.
That's what sucks is a tractor's not meant to tote gravel real
in a
far.
Bucket.
Yeah, the bucket will pick up way more than the ass in the tractor will handle. We ain't got no water in the tires either. You know, no weights.
Yeah,
no
with no
wheels,
ballast,
nothing
no
like
Yeah,
that.
on
we
the
were
back.
doing endos a good bit last
Yeah.
week.
I bet, especially coming down that hill where you got to turn. Did y'all go
Almost.
down that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I tried it. I was on the bigger tractor, which is longer. I couldn't cut as sharp as what Mark was, and I tried it one time. It was picking the right back tire 2 foot in the air.
Ooh.
So I backed
felt
up.
sketchy.
I
Yeah,
went.
I
I went
bet.
around the tree where I was pretty much going uphill the whole time versus
Yeah.
cutting downhill. But
I thought that's what I said when I saw it. I said I'd have come up from the mud hole and went down, just downhill.
yeah,
You know it's going down. You ain't got no choice.
no, I made I don't know how many loads.
I probably hauled 10 or 12, probably at least.
How much? That was just one truckload of
load.
gravel, wasn't it?
You got to think that, like the bucket on a small tractor, it ain't but 6 foot wide. So I mean, it ain't even holding.
Oh, I could have hauled a lot more, but the back end of the tractor
Yeah.
didn't like it.
You're not hauling as much gravel as you think you are.
Yeah.
It ain't about 6 wheelbarrow loads in that bucket is all. It ain't much.
Yeah, that first load we dumped out, I was pretty much disappointed when I thought I had a bunch.
Yeah.
I poured it out and was like, oh, man, I got to go all the way back to the front of this property.
But they look good. We'll get that done. I don't really. We could do one more ditch.
I don't know if you done
Right
one
there,
on.
mud
If you
hole.
done one mud hole coming back this way,
I don't know how you would do the mud hole one because that's a pretty big span.
can't make that span.
you'd have,
but on that one.
it'd take more to it than.
I think you'd be better off to like
Crossing it
slope
back up. I think you can probably cross it back up by the stand
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's how I usually go in with the
Yeah.
tractor now. I go in that way.
But we need another one right below the shop. Crossing that ditch down there to get to that. We need that little back little
We could do. I think we could do 4
hideaway
holes.
plot
Is
back
it
down
washed
there.
where I sloped it last year? Have you been down there lately?
I ain't been down there lately. We went back during the summer. You could get through it no problem, but it wouldn't. I don't know if you get a tractor through it.
Yeah,
So-
you could make them, like you was fixing to say, that you could make them where you get a tractor cross. You just got to 4-pole it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Get your wheel,
So
measure
you're talking
your
about
wheelbase on your tractor and
in the
makes you ride on
woods,
the
not
pole.
the original road that's got the gravel bottom in the ditch.
yeah.
That gravel bottom don't have a bottom.
Yeah.
I done got the tractor stuck in it once already.
No, Mark
I
took
cut
the
a little
bucket and
easement
cut
there.
yeah.
We had that.
You could
big
probably
ass-
cross it right there pretty easy. But that would let you get back to the line on that side. Then you could go all the way down and have to skirt around that mud hole creek.
Really need a load of old brick or a
Rock.
bunch of busted sackcrete or riffraff or something to put where you could cross at the original location.
Yeah.
But
You can get through there sometime. Like a side by side will go through there. It's
Yeah.
light enough to where it doesn't mar down. But
It's
I haven't been
crazy.
through
It's
there.
like, looking back, a lot of times, I mean, I'm guilty of it. Is when you're like, oh man, I'd like to get that 100 acres right there, and he's, oh man, that's hunting land. There's nothing to it. I just
Yeah.
plant me a food plot. No, it's way more
Way
to
more.
if you want to maintain it and get it to where you can actually use the 100% of the land, and easy access. That's the biggest thing. It's a lot more to it than just planting food plots. That's for sure.
it will be time to do our fall plots here soon.
Yeah, we
That's
ain't
the
far
next
off.
phase. We got a couple more projects. We got a walk-in cooler we're going to try to do so we can age our deer we shoot this year. We already had them pour a slab for it. We're going to do what size was that?
It's 8 by 8 by
Is it-
7'7".
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good size for us.
oh,
Does
yeah.
it come with like the hanging stuff in there, or do we gotta?
No, we got to rig something. We got to be thinking about that because we got to figure out a way to do a hanging system inside it.
Jay's got some stuff already for that.
Really?
Like rail systems.
Yeah, that you can set up inside.
It's
Yeah,
all on like little gantry cranes with hooks. You can roll them
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, one guy I seen, he did his on his YouTube channel. He done maybe 1.25 inch, 1.5 galvanized gas
Yeah.
pipe,
Yeah.
and he made it up like that.
I looked online and saw some pictures for some ideas, and that's what a lot of people would use.
Yeah, 'cause you buy those meat hooks, they'll slide on the
Yeah,
on the
once you get
pipe
'em on it.
itself, once you get them hung up.
It just
But I just don't know, because see, these coolers we're looking at, it's really a prefab cooler. They're
Got a
just wall
floor.
panels. It's got a floor panel, and then you put the walls on it. You set the top with the unit on it already, and everything cam locks
Mhm.
in. And you put the door on. It's not much to it. But I don't know, like if you attach something to those walls, like you couldn't just
Couldn't put the weight.
Yeah,
of the
the
wheel
weight-
on
yeah.
it.
no,
wouldn't
no,
hold-
no,
yeah.
no, no. This
you're gonna have
was-
to put a freestanding
Yeah, that's
frame
how
on
this
the
was, yeah.
inside to carry it.
Yeah,
Almost like I was thinking like an A-frame, like an old swing set or something like that and you could probably build that out of 2x4. Is what I was thinking on the inside.
You just wash off. That'd be the only thing about doing a galvanized pipe. You ain't got to worry about blood soaking in it.
Yeah, that's true.
We can rig up something for sure. The worst thing to me is just I'm getting too old to pick up a deer and hang up like that.
Well, that was the next thing. You're gonna have to pick it up from the skinning rack to tote it outside around the corner.
The one I looked at it was 4-post, and on like say if you walk in the door, the post on the left had a little winch on it just like we do, and it was like 6 inches higher than what the frame itself was, and you just pick it up, and then they use their old A-frame and just put it on there, and then it slides on the rail. Yeah. You had one winch to load the rail, you know. We can figure out something.
Or we just do like that. One guy used to carry your stuff too. You used to open it and throw it in there, and they just pile
it up. See, I can't stand that.
I went in there and dropped 2 deer off. That guy, he said, just put them in there with the rest of them, and it was freaking old blood in the bottom of the cooler and just deer piled up.
There might be a hog in there. There might be. There's all kinds of stuff.
I'm pretty particular about how I handle it. And you get some people, man, it might have guts in it, gut shot. It ain't dressed,
you don't know,
and they just pile. And I'm not 100% confident you're getting your meat back.
That bothers me with processing too.
Now, when Hunter had his place in town, I'd carry stuff to him, never questioned. He done a very, very good job on it. But it's a couple of places I've seen. I'm kind of sketchy on what I'd get back.
They just cutting meat.
Yep.
So what's the point in having a cooler?
Well, one, you got a little time. When you shoot some deer, you shoot some late night deer, and you don't want to mess with it, you can hang them up. You can skin them, gut them, whatever, and let them hang. But what it does, it takes the meat, kind of starts breaking down, and it lets out some of the, I guess it's the lactic acid in the muscles or whatever. After it hangs, it starts that aging process, and it makes it more tender. So if you let it age for,
I think 14 days.
Is optimal.
That was like,
some people do 7, some people do 14.
The 10 to 14 days with this guy, he thought that was like the ideal hang time. But I don't remember he hung just meat, no hide on the meat.
Yeah,
that's
just
that way it can air all the way around. And me and Mark found out this year of many hogs we cooked, aged hog, dressing, cutting, cleaning
meat
up,
color.
It does a whole lot better than a fresh, I guess, more like a wet meat.
Yeah.
As far as like processing it.
The whole thing I looked at as far as a cooler allowing you to hang is you're technically for the best product, you're supposed to let the animal go through rigor mortis with the meat still attached to the bone.
Yep.
Because the muscle's going to draw up and get tight. The bone holds it to where it starts, my understanding, this is layman's terms, when that muscle's still attached to the bone and rigor mortis happens and it draws up, it basically stretches the muscle fibers. And it makes it more tender because it doesn't have that time to ball up in a knot. If it's not attached to the bone, it just balls up in a knot, and that roast is going to stay tight like that. With it attached to the bone, when it draws up, it's still attached, so it has to stretch to make it draw up.
That makes sense.
And it's just like a rubber band kind of deal, you know. But I don't guess I've ever had one hung.
Daddy and them always did when I was a kid, but it was back then. In October, you've already had a frost. It was getting cold. And Thanksgiving, you could hang a deer. Daddy and them let it hang. He might hang out in our shop for
2 or 3 days or a week.
2 or 3 days, up to a couple of weeks. He has had them out, just depending on how the weather was.
And you don't have to hang the animal. You can still quarter up as long as the meat's attached to the bone. So you quarter up hind quarter, cut the back strap out. You can still leave it attached and put that on shelf to where if you didn't have a way to hang it, you could do the wire shelves and it's still be just as good, as an option, I guess you'd say.
It's definitely gonna be a game changer and plus to me, I'd rather sit down and process 4 or 5 deer than I had sit there and break everything out to do one deer, then clean everything back up.
'Cause that's it. Like last year, say Mikey shot a deer that morning, I shot one that afternoon, you shot one the next morning. We just went through that process 3 full times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, see you like when we were doing sausage last year. We had to cut up the deer, put the deer in the cooler,
you're a day long and just prepping almost.
You can take it straight out of the cooler, dice it up, throw it in the sausage grinder. We go to grinding hamburger meat sausage right there, and then freeze it. It's not froze and then re-thawed again.
Yeah.
Who said we can grind all them tubs? Cover the tub,
and then come back
in the cooler, and come back down the next day or a couple days later, and actually bag it and process it out.
The con of a walk-in, we We can't get 10 or 11 of them in there packed in there.
We're gonna need
later.
wire tags with dates on these bad boys. And who killed it?
They got to have a limit. Yeah.
Man, there's a buddy of mine.
It's getting donated or something.
Man, that was awful black. How long's that one been in there?
That's on that 45-day
That one
age.
looks like a hanging liver.
Yeah.
Get that one out.
That's what a buddy of mine, he got a pretty nice walk-in. He's got a reefer trailer. He said, man, same thing. He got over there. He went hunting. His dad, his sons. He said, man, had 11 deer between the time they started to. He's like, man, he said, it's been, this is over a couple weeks period. And he's like, we got all these deer.
But that's when you get all of us together. Just
Everybody's got to do something.
all right, hey, this Friday evening, we're not hunting. We're going to get these done.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to cut some steaks, Malcolm. Go in there and start get these cooking. We'll finish it up. We'll have supper ready. Good to go. And make a day, afternoon of it.
You think how much we could have done, because like last year when we was grinding that sausage, like me and you cut up all those deer and diced,
We spent the evening doing that.
If it had been all four of us there, somebody's cutting meat, somebody's grinding meat, somebody's
Vacuum
stuffing,
sealing or
somebody's vacuum sealing. You got an assembly line going.
You can get
you
it
could
done.
pack up 100 pounds of deer fast.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of grinding and sausage, I stole some of that summer sausage out of the freezer when we was down here last week, thawed it, and cut it up Saturday and put it on a charcuterie board.
Man.
Dude,
It's good.
there ain't nothing wrong with that sausage.
Oh, yeah. It's
Oh,
fine.
that
The
was-
guy from Delta come up and was like, what is this? I said, it's some summer sausage we made last year. And he took a bite. He said, where'd y'all buy that at? I said, no. I said, we made that.
That's
That
the
was good,
And I
real
said,
good.
first batch recipe.
I might actually shoot me a dough this year just to get me some sausage.
It's good.
I don't know if I want any
Hey,
regular
you
this
might.
year.
You're going to have
No,
to.
I want the
I like the
jalapeno.
jalapeno sausage
Yeah,
way
yeah.
better than I do the regular.
And the mustard seed does make a difference.
I went in there. We went in there a while ago, pulled out meat that we're going to cook this weekend, getting the freezers ready. So I got a bunch of, not a bunch, but there's probably 3 or 4 whole hindquarters in there that are vacuum sealed. One of them's probably freezer burnt. It looked like seal done broke.
Need to do.
Gotta
the
do something.
old- You never done the old Pepsi?
I want me and you to do a
oranges?
video on it. That's the one I want to do. Where was it like a Pepsi and orange brine?
Man, that stuff was like. Well, we probably go a day or two in the brine.
No, that one you done, I'm telling you, I don't know.
It looked like witch's brew off in there. It was bubbling.
It was one of them cheap coolers that don't have a drain plug, right?
Yeah.
So he put the hindquarter in there, filled it up with Pepsi, and had oranges and limes and onions, and I don't know what was all in there. And like day 2, you go up there and open it, and it's nothing but foam.
It was.
Like it ain't no Pepsi left. Like I don't know where it went. Like it's
Oh,
just a
really?
foam. Like it.
Oh, there was no liquid. It was
no
just
liquid.
like, yeah.
So
It
I
might
don't
be the
know.
nastiest thing ever. I don't remember. Back in the day, I mean, that's been 30-something years
fired up
ago.
So did you wash it off when you took it out there, or just throw some seasoning on it and
Had it
roll?
dry and put seasoning on it, and then we
Put
wrapped
it on
the
a
whole-
smoker?
We wrapped the. I think I've done it 2 times. One time I did it, I just like that, and then the second time we wrapped the. Me and Darren did it, and we wrapped the whole hindquarter in bacon. I mean, it was like covered in bacon. It was.
Which one was better? Or do you remember?
I think the bacon's got to be better.
Gotta be. It's gotta
Gotta
be.
be.
It's gotta
We
be.
cooked it on one of the old, was it Brinkman bullet with the little
red-
side,
Yeah.
the little side door, and you had the water pan.
Dang, how long did that take?
He was cooking with some sassafras wood.
I probably was
Sassafras.
pine. I had pine
Sweet
needles starting
gum.
it. Yeah,
We barely know what we're doing now. He really didn't know.
Yeah, I
what he was
didn't
doing
then,
either.
for sure.
But I really do want to smoke one of those whole. And
I still
Let
want
it
to do a
roll.
whole deer. As many as hogs as I've boned out this year, I think I can bone
Yeah.
out a whole deer.
I
Pretty,
guarantee you.
and I think we could debone the whole thing. And I want to cook it to where it lays out flat. And instead of rolling it up, I want to just put the boudin on top of it, like boudin with some sausage, and just let it sit on top in the cavity and cook. Don't roll it up, and cook it that way.
See, I think you see them do those ones where they put them on the spits.
Mhm.
hang 'em
Yeah,
out
like
the
the
bottom.
cross, iron
And
cross.
then they take the herbs and
Herb brush and
them
brush
with
it
the,
down.
Yeah, brush
Some
it
do
down
goats
that.
like that. I mean, it's the same thing pretty much.
It can't be bad.
All they do is keep a fire pit going. Like you make a cinder block fire pit. Those iron
residual-
crosses are on the
residual heat off
outside,
of
and you
it.
can kind of rotate them, but they just come like you said and brush them with whatever kind of marinade or base they got going on.
I've seen Tim. He's had chickens, hogs, goats, everything around the fire.
Tied up like that, just hanging.
That hog pit, we can shovel coals on it.
Yeah.
We can lay it in there.
Maybe we need to get a welder down here and weld us up some old meat hanging things. We build a fire under.
It's like we're just having a seance or something down here killing goats.
What are y'all doing? We're cooking.
Yeah,
Come to camp.
I'm ready for it to cool off. I'm ready
Yeah.
for frost. I'm ready for the whole.
I am too.
I'm not. I mean, I'm pretty excited about hunting, but I'm more excited about just being down here and letting it get cold and get back to eating biscuits and gravy every morning.
that's
Got
what I had
it.
for supper last night. Biscuit and gravy.
That cool snap that we had last week just kind of put you back in that mood.
Yeah.
It is bad when we think 80 degrees is
I know.
cool. Like,
That's what I was
man, it's
thinking.
80 degrees.
It's It's like 85 outside.
Yeah.
Feels great.
It feels great.
Yeah, it feels great. It's like, man, we
Well,
get
I mean, I know this wasn't accurate, but I left work the other day. My truck said 118. What it said on
Mine
it.
said 115 or 114.
wow.
I'm sure it wasn't that. That was probably
Yeah.
reading metal heat, but
But I got on the interstate and it still didn't drop to like 105.
mine
Mine
didn't drop
stayed at
much.
105 for a while. Like I was like, this is real temp. Most times because you get in and it's hot, but that's way too hot to be
You seen them,
outside.
where them folks?
You ain't be hunting at 105.
No, I ain't doing
one of the
nothing at
schools,
105.
Lewisburg or Hernando, got the elementary class, and they bake cookies like on the dash of a car.
Oh, I
They
believe
put
it.
cookies on the cookie sheet and set it on the dash of the car and close the door and come back out, and they were baked, and they were brown, like they browned up.
Yeah, they got
Charles was an instructor.
his lunch has been hot this past week, ain't it? Yeah.
He must have put it in raw.
I
that
bet I
morning.
guarantee you can make jerky out there easy.
Well,
It would
You know, a couple of
dehydrate.
them guys. This is not nothing to do with hunting, but I thought it was pretty crazy. Is they had them ball tournaments this weekend. They shot the outfield on one of them AstroTurf fields, and it read 170 degrees at the grass.
Oh yeah, that rubber stuff that's up under that stuff puts off some heat. It's like a heat wave.
Well, now they're changing over from the black balls in there to like a tan brownish.
To hopefully
on
not reflect as
AstroTurf
much
to cut
heat.
back on the heat. Yep.
I feel so bad for some of them kids playing ball right now. It's hard.
It
on
ain't
'em.
even worth it.
They pushed start back times of Mississippi back about an hour, but that's still, I mean,
It don't matter.
I know Gage and them in football practice that in the late afternoons, not right after school, but
they canceled middle school after school practice. They've been going to the gym where they seed and during class. But
When we played football, I mean, you talking about everything changed. We
Yeah.
were just talking about a minute ago. I remember when we were like this weekend right here was usually our opening weekend when we played.
Jamboree or
And
first
it was-
game, yeah.
It was cool outside. I mean, it wasn't cold, but it was a
Yeah.
lot cooler. It wasn't like it is now. It wasn't
No.
100 degrees.
no, like you said earlier, our winter's not in November, December, January. It's February, March now.
I don't think it's climate.
Children got off.
It's climate shifting. It's like they're rotating. That's what it is. It feels like we still get cold weather. It just don't come when it's
That's
supposed to.
different, Yeah.
And summer don't start. Like I remember in May we used to
Oh, yeah,
have the
May
hot
was
weather,
Screaming hot.
but now it's we don't start getting hot till
July and
June.
August.
Yeah. So we're kind of in the middle of it right now. I mean, it could be Halloween and we still got 90-degree days. So
I hope not.
we're probably. I mean, we did get a little rain this week, but we might not see no rain for a month.
Yeah, this is usually
This is the
worst
drought,
month
yeah.
right here.
Yep. Time to go back to Virginia or to Indiana.
Leaving tomorrow.
Go to Arkansas. I know the mountains are nice up there.
Again, afternoon, you get down there by the river, it's going to be 20, 30 degrees cooler.
Yep, always. Well, that about does it for today, guys. We'll be back next week. Anything y'all want to say before we get out of here?
No, I appreciate it. Y'all make sure to check us out on all the platforms. We're always going to be trying to get some new content out. We got some more recipes should be hitting. I think we got a dove field video should be coming out here in the near future. And
Shot a little bridge clip.
yeah, a little bridge clip. So, of course, we'll try to get some more content for y'all. But if y'all got any questions, let us know. And see y'all next time.
All right, Jamie, you ain't gonna be here next week, right?
Yeah, I'll be spending
in
my
Florida.
next Tuesday with
Mickey
Mickey
Mouse.
Mouse. Yeah.
We'll let Mark set up a guest, and we'll be back to do this again. We gone.
Go.